5 reasons why you must detach from a toxic relationship. So the first one is it's draining your emotional and spiritual energy. The second one, you start normalizing mistreatment. The third one is you lose your identity and personal power. The fourth one is your self worth takes a hit you can't afford. And the fifth one is staying blocks the love and the life that you truly deserve. So let's talk about it. Okay. So I had to have my notes because I can get, kind of all over the place if I don't stay on topic, right? So the first one is it's draining your emotional and spiritual energy. When you are in a toxic relationship and someone's life is full of chaos and that's their norm, that's something that they thrive in. Some people thrive in chaos. But if you're a person that is peaceful, you're a person that likes, calm atmospheres and environments, then this person is going to make your nervous system just like go all over the place. And that is something that you do not want to continue to deal with. Now, what I will say is when people show up in your life, maybe for the first time, they don't display that toxicity in the beginning because, see, the whole goal of it is to draw you in, to get you attached to them. So they will present themselves as this peaceful person, as this loving person, that this person is just really wants to, settle down and they're a family person. And so that's something that you desire as well. Well, once you start getting connected or getting attached to this person, and then now you're invested, maybe you invested time, money, sometimes even your body, right? And to the point where now you've created a soul tie. And once you created a soul tie, that is so hard to break, especially when it is you've been intimate with this person. And a lot of times, if a person is coming in your life and they have an agenda, that's the first thing that they want to do. If they're coming and pursuing you in a way that is lustful, it's because they know that the way to attach someone to them is through sex, is through intimacy, because that creates that soul tie spiritually, where now this person, like, you can't get them out of your system, like you're just basically just being drawn to that person. And this is what a lot of people, men and women, do in order to keep a person hooked on them. But when you know that this person has caused you pain, or this person is now not showing up in the way that they used to show up previously, so now you have to make sure that you are protecting yourself by now learning the art of detachment. If something is causing you to question someone's behavior, but every time you say something to them, they're very short with it. They make you think you're crazy. They make you think that you're just imagining these things. No, you're not imagining. Your body is telling you that. And before you can really maybe kind of, see it, in your mind, your body will give off clues that, something is not right here. You'll feel nervousness, you'll feel overwhelmed, you'll just feel all these emotions or this anxiety that builds up every time you maybe talk to this person, regardless of, what is going on. Because if their energy is so sporadic and it's just so all over the place, it's going to affect you, especially if you're a peaceful person and you're the type of person who doesn't like entertain drama. So the next one is you start normalizing mistreatment. If you're the type of person who normalizes mistreatment, you let this person, basically, when they get upset, they can basically say things to you in a way that's disrespectful, say things to you in a way that is hurtful. They probably don't even apologize. And you just want to just kind of, not speak up because you want to keep the peace and because you want this person in your life. So you'll just, be silent so things can blow over. So this way everything will be okay. But it's really not okay. And what you don't understand is a lot of times what people are doing is they are basically training you to be the type of person where you're codependent on them. They want you to be codependent on them so this way they can still come back and use you, your energy, your time, your resources, because now you're a good source of supply for them. You basically, give them that, I don't know, that spark or whatever it is they need to go out there and do whatever they do when you're not around them, right? So the next one is you lose your identity and your personal power. The reason why you need to detach, because if everything is all centered around this person and this is who you are, just your whole day is around, waiting for this person to call you or waiting for this person to text you. And if they don't, now you're feeling, slighted, or you're feeling, well, why haven't they called me? Why haven't they texted me? And then they maybe call you 2 days later and give you some excuse, but you accept it because you have now allowed yourself to let this person now be the center of your life. And I'm not saying that we can't love people, but we never allow someone to come into our lives in the energy where we lose ourselves. That is just a non no, we're not allowing that. When your self-worth takes a hit, and a lot of times when people know they can talk to you any kind of way, they can show up lackluster, they can, not pour into you, maybe love bomb you here and there, and you'll accept that, and just basically really not pouring into the relationship or investing in the relationship. What ends up happening is that your self-worth takes a hit. But not only does your self-worth take a hit, they realize that, wow, you don't have any boundaries, so I can show up in this relationship or this connection any way that I want to. You're not gonna, you may, question it every now and then, you may say certain things, but after a while you just come to accept it. Long as I give, or long as they give you a little bit of, like, with that rope or whatever, you'll take that, because in your mind, this is who you created to be, your fantasy person or your dream person, and you're just waiting for them to get back to the person who they were when you first met them. But you're not understanding they were never that person. The person that you're seeing is who they really are. The mask just fell off, but because you're invested emotionally, intimately, maybe even financially, that now you don't see why leaving that connection would be beneficial, because you feel like, well, I've invested so much, so I might as well just ride it out. Never ride something out that is disrespecting you and leaving you in an energy of not being appreciated, right? So that is a key tip. And then another thing, the reason why you need to detach from a toxic connection and relationship is because it blocks the person who is aligned with you. It blocks the person who wants to love you correctly. It blocks the person who is there to see your value from day one. They don't have to sit here and play no mind games with you and do all of those low vibrational things that, to me, like high school, you know, high school days where, it was just like drama. Like, why, as an adult, do people even try to show up like that in a connection? Either you want this person or you don't. Say that. Like, even I would rather somebody to hurt my feelings and say, you know what, I don't think this is going anywhere, but you're a good person, but I wish you the best, but I don't, think as far as a romantic relationship, but we can still be friends or whatever like that. I would rather somebody say that instead of just lead you on, use you, use your body, use your finances, just use you, because that's just the energy that they're in. And a lot of times, even when a person may say that, let me just play devil's advocate for a minute. Maybe somebody did say that, well, I don't think this connection is going anywhere, but we can be friends. And some people, because they are so insecure, they will, well, what is it that you want me to do? I'll change. We can work this out. I'll fight for the connection. I'll fight to keep the relationship, moving forward, when actually the relationship is already done. When a person is telling you that they don't want to move any further with that connection, at least they're being upfront and they're letting you know. But when a person who is in toxic energy, who is just allowing whatever they want, their selfishness, their pride, their ego to rule them, and then they will treat anybody any kind of way because that's just the energy that they're in, because maybe they've been betrayed, maybe someone done them dirty, so they feel as like, well, hey, this is the energy that I'm in, and this is just how I'm going to move. So you have to understand how to detach from someone who is not basically showing up for you in the way that you deserve to be showed up for. And this is why I always talk about loving yourself first. You have to understand the first person that you need to pour into is you, because when you start pouring into yourself, when you start loving on yourself, it's a whole nother level of self-awareness. You start understanding who you are. You start understanding, the things that you deserve and you desire, and you won't let people come in your life and play in your face Because if they're not showing up authentically, if they're not showing up with equal give and take, if they're not showing up in the way that you see your life moving forward, then you know that is not the person for you. So why waste time? Why waste energy? And even if a person tries to come in and just say sabotage and probably show up as their best self, because that representative is showing up in the beginning, it's really not who they are. But let me tell you something about intuition and discernment. You will know when a person is, really not authentic, because there's certain things, there's certain clues that your intuition will just pick up on. Certain conversations will slip, because I believe that the Most High will not allow his children to be, hoodwinked and bamboozled. He will not allow that. But we have to be honest with ourselves. We cannot let how a person looks, or how much money they make, or where they live, or what job they have, or what type of vehicle they drive. We cannot let material things get us off track because we feel as though, well, this is the lifestyle I want, so this is the person I want. No, you have to understand that those things are fleeting, but a solid foundation with two people who are on a journey of really being authentic within their lives can build so much, of a healthy relationship, because it's not about the material things, it's about the connection that they have and the love that they have for one another that transcends all of that. I'm not saying that it's not good to have those things, but once you have someone that is really there, that has your back and you have their back, then you can build a beautiful connection. But when it comes to a toxic relationship and you know it's toxic, then you are the one who is responsible to detach from that. And sometimes detaching from that, even when you are living with that person, comes with just moving in silence. I'm saying this because I had to do it. I had to live through being in a marriage where I had to basically move in silence in that marriage. I had to basically just shut everything down, my emotions down, to not give any energy to that situation because it was no longer serving me. So I hope this has helped you. I'll be back with part 2 of this. So have a great day and have a great Monday.